a brief list of the United States war crimes against humanity. Greetings to all. Today, we explore a subject that illuminates a distinct facet of history: the purported war crimes against humanity committed by the United States. These incidents, which range from the Vietnam War's My Lai massacre to the Iraqi Abu Ghraib torture scandal, have had a negative impact on American history. Join us as we examine a short collection of these accusations in an effort to comprehend the nuances of these unsettling occurrences. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video for more engaging content. Number 5. No Gun Rai, Korea. The BBC claims that although the U.S. sent troops into the Korean War in 1950 to defend the South, they were ill-prepared and lacked proper training. The North's attacks created a serious refugee problem, leading U.S. forces to panic as thousands of Koreans fled war-torn areas and congealed on the battlefield. In July 1950, the U.S. Army issued a stop refugee order on the same day that U.S. forces from the 7th Cavalry Regiment massacred about 400 residents fleeing South Korea in the town of No Gun Rai. The soldiers contended that they believed the migrants might be North Korean soldiers in camouflage. The BBC reported that U.S. planes, machine guns, and bombs targeted several migrants while they were on or beneath a stone bridge that crossed the town. 3 days was how long the torture lasted, according to local survivors and cavalry troops. Veteran Joe Jackman remembered, "There was a lieutenant screaming like a madman, 'Fire on everything! Kill them all!' The BBC reported this. I was unsure whether they were soldiers or not. They shot all the children, from 8 to 80, who were blind, crippled, or insane." The Associated Press first reported the massacre in September 1999. The U.S. forces regard it as one of the largest massacres of civilians in the country's history. Number 4. My Lai, Vietnam. According to PBS, the 11th Brigade's Charlie Company arrived at the Vietnamese village of My Lai on March 16, 1968. Viet Cong forces had murdered or crippled many American brigade members in this area. Lieutenant William Cowley ordered the troops to fire into the village, despite no reports of opposing fire, resulting in the deaths of approximately 300 residents, according to PBS. Witnesses reported that the soldiers beyonded other elderly men, raped at least one girl before killing her, and shot praying women and children in the back of the head. Journalist Seymour Hersh didn't make the story public in the United States until he wrote a report in November 1969 based on his conversations with Vietnam veteran Ron Ridenour. Following the slaughter, the actions of American soldiers and their officers in the field raised significant doubts. Number 3. Abu Ghraib, Iraq. Images of American forces torturing Iraqi prisoners at Abu Ghraib, a large prison west of Baghdad, known for its regular torture sessions and killings of inmates under Saddam Hussein, outraged the globe in 2004, according to the New York Times. The Times reported that the images, depicting the beating, mistreatment, and sexual assault of Iraqi detainees, fueled anger among Arabs and Muslims towards the United States and served as a powerful recruiting tool for terrorists in Iraq and abroad. The abuse case led to the conviction of 9 U.S. soldiers and sparked numerous other military and congressional investigations. Following the discovery of the atrocities, former President Bush proposed the destruction of the facility, but an American military judge insisted on maintaining it as a crime scene, as reported by the Times. The military declared in March 2006 that it would release all detainees from Abu Ghraib. In February 2009, the prison reopened under the new moniker Baghdad's Central Prison, demonstrating its commitment to humanitarianism. Number 2. Haditha, Iraq. U.S. Marines killed 24 unarmed men, women, and children in the western Iraqi city of Haditha on November 19, 2005. According to the New York Times, Staff Chief Frank Wuterich acknowledged instructing his soldiers to shoot first and ask questions later. The slaughter is believed to be retaliation for an attack on an American convoy that claimed a Marine's life. Regarding the December 21, 2006 incident, authorities accused Heskit, Wuterich, and 8 of his Marines. However, they dismissed the charges against 6 of them and found 1 not guilty. Additionally, CBS News ultimately found Wuterich not guilty of voluntary manslaughter. After his release, Wuterich had a conversation with the relatives of the Iraqi victims. "I want you to know that I never meant to hurt you or your family on that day. According to CBS, he remarked, "I know that you are the real victims of November 19, 2005. Additional information from Global Post Marine Frank Wooterich, who was tried in the Haditha case, receives a pay reduction and a demotion, but avoids jail time. The fact that none of the 8 Marines received convictions infuriated the people of Haditha." Alvis Fahmy Hussein, a massacre survivor, told CBS, "I was expecting the American judiciary to sentence this person to life in prison, and that he would appear and confess in front of the whole world that he committed this crime, so that America could show itself as democratic and fair." Numerous media outlets likened the situation to My Lai. Number 1. At Zizabad airstrike, Afghanistan. The U.S. and Afghan military were conducting an operation in the area to chase Taliban commander Mullah Siddiq when they launched an airstrike on August 22, 2008, killing Afghan civilians who had gathered in the tiny village for the memorial service of a militia leader, according to the New York Times. There have been conflicting reports from American forces, charity workers, local people, and an Afghan government report regarding the number of casualties from the bombing, ranging from 30 to 90. Regarding the attack, the Pentagon characterized it as a legitimate strike against the Taliban and questioned the number of casualties provided by the Afghan government and media outlets. Initially, the U.S. military denied any civilian casualties, but upon the release of a cell phone video, they acknowledged the possibility of civilian deaths and pledged to investigate the incident, as reported by the Associated Press. The Daily Telegraph stated that in 2009, Mohammed Nader, an Azizabad villager, received a death sentence for providing soldiers with false information regarding Siddiq's whereabouts. The Telegraph reported that Judge Qazi Nukarem sentenced Mohammed Nader to death by hanging for espionage by foreign forces and providing false information that resulted in civilian deaths. Brian Adams, the director of Human Rights Watch's Asia section, which started its own investigation into the attacks, stated that the U.S. still needs to change its policies and practices on airstrikes to end the string of attacks that have caused so much loss of civilian life. Otherwise, the planned arrival of 20 to 30,000 more troops in Afghanistan may lead to greater, not fewer, civilian deaths. I appreciate you looking. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel.